Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Coco Gauff and boyfriend Jalen Sera spend 4th of July by the beach in Florida and watch fireworks days after Wimbledon heartbreak. American WTA star Coco Gauff might have failed to extend her Wimbledon campaign as per the expectations, but the 21-year-old's resilience shines through adversity. Her first-round exit at the All-England club, while disappointing, reveals a mature perspective on setbacks that could prove valuable as she prepares for the upcoming American hardcourt season. Gauff recently shared glimpses of a relaxing getaway with her boyfriend, Jalen Sera, as the couple cherished the happy vibes on the 4th of July, demonstrating her ability to find a balance between professional disappointments and personal joy. Gauff's Wimbledon setback exposes serving struggles. Second seed Coco Gauff was the biggest name to lose in the first 2 days of the ongoing major event at Wimbledon. The WTA star was defeated in straight sets by Diana Yastremska in a match that highlighted persistent technical issues that have plagued her game. Gauff had just won her second Grand Slam title at the French Open last month, but she couldn't find her best form on the grass courts of southwest London. Her serve produced disappointing numbers, with 9 double faults undermining her confidence at crucial moments. She was broken 4 times on the way to a 7-6, 7-3, 6-1 loss that exposed the gap between her clay court success and grass court adaptation. The serving struggles represent a concerning pattern for Gauff, whose powerful baseline game translates more effectively to slower surfaces. While her rivals Aryna Sabalenka, Iga Swiatek, and others continue to chase the major title, Gauff decided to not let disappointment take over her mindset. Instead, she cherished an outing with boyfriend Jalen Sera, spending her evening in Delray Beach, where Sera joined her for the adorable fireworks show on the 4th of July. She dropped glimpses of the quiet beach in the evening while her boyfriend, Jalen Sera, captured moments of the bright fireworks. The 2-time Grand Slam champion's social media posts reflected a deliberate effort to maintain perspective beyond tennis results. Gauff has been dating Sera since 2023. Their relationship became known to the public early this year as she began sharing glimpses in interviews and on Instagram. Gauff describes him as her first real relationship, as he doesn't belong to the tennis world, but is from Atlanta, where she grew up. Sera is musically inclined and has acting aspirations, and surprisingly, was taught by Gauff's mom in 4th grade class. Mental resilience points toward U.S. Open reset. Gauff's early exit at Wimbledon wasn't just a sole disappointment for herself, but for the countless fans who raised the bar of expectations after her Roland Garros win. However, despite the heavy emotional toll, the WTA star kept herself mentally strong and refrained from getting stuck in the loop of disappointment that can derail promising careers. "I definitely was struggling in the locker room. I don't like losing. The main thing I'm sure my team and everyone is going to tell me: you did well at Roland Garros. Don't be so upset. Things like that," she said. "Obviously, I'm not going to dwell on this too long, because I want to do well at the U.S. Open. Maybe losing here first round isn't the worst thing in the world, because I have time to reset." After the defeat, Gauff will now prepare for another transition to hard courts as she prepares for the most awaited American swing. The extended preparation time could prove beneficial for addressing the serving inconsistencies that plagued her Wimbledon campaign, while her positive mindset suggests she's positioned to bounce back stronger on her preferred surface. Stars above the sea. Coco Gauff and Jalen Sera's 4th of July escape. By the time the fireworks began, Coco Gauff had already forgotten the sting of London grass beneath her shoes. The sun melted into the horizon in hues of apricot and lavender, casting a warm glow over the Florida coastline. Waves lapped lazily at the shore, and the soft wind played with the hem of her linen shirt. Beside her, Jalen Sera reached for her hand, their fingers intertwining like they'd done 100 times before. This wasn't center court. There were no lines painted in chalk, no hushed crowds or Hawkeye challenges. Just the open beach, freedom in the air, and the smell of salt and sunscreen drifting between them. A different kind of court. Coco hadn't planned to return so soon. After her unexpected third-round exit at Wimbledon just 5 days earlier, she'd spent a day in London doing nothing. No interviews, no rackets, No running drills. Just staring at the ceiling of her hotel room, wondering where the rhythm had gone. The loss had hit her hard. Not because she didn't expect challenges, but because expectations, both hers and the world's, had become heavy. "I just need a breather," she texted Jalen after the match, the message short but loud with emotion. He was already waiting back home in Florida, having skipped a trip to the UK due to his own commitments, studying sports management and working part-time with a community athletics program. He hadn't pushed or asked questions. He just replied, "The ocean's still here." And so, Coco flew home, not to the courts or the press, but to the coast. And to him, fireworks and quiet moments. The 4th of July had always been a big deal in the Gauff household, barbecues, sparklers, her brothers trying to set off a few too many rockets at once. But this year, Coco had chosen something simpler, quieter. They arrived at the beach just before sunset, Jalen carrying a small cooler, a faded Miami Marlins cap pulled low over his forehead, and Coco in oversized sunglasses and her favorite zip hoodie. They walked barefoot through the warm sand, settled on a soft blanket near the dunes, and sat without speaking for a while. "You okay?" Jalen asked gently, handing her a bottle of water. She nodded. "Better." He waited, knowing she'd say more when she was ready. That was one of the things she loved about him. He never forced her out of her silence. Eventually, she spoke. "I thought this year was it. Wimbledon. I was feeling it. I had the rhythm, you know." "You still have it," he said simply. She smiled, not quite convinced, but grateful. "You ever feel like you're running, and then suddenly you trip on your own shoelaces?" He laughed. "All the time. Especially on the court. But unlike you, no one's filming me when I eat it." Waves and reflections. As the evening drifted on, the beach grew busier. Families set up small bonfires, kids ran with glow sticks, and laughter filled the air. Coco pulled her knees up to her chest, watching a group of teenagers launch bottle rockets down the shore. "It's weird being back," she said. "Feels like everyone expects me to either be crying or training. Like I'm not allowed to just sit." "You're allowed to breathe, Coco." His voice was quiet, but certain. "You're more than your stats. You're not your last match." She looked over at him, his profile glowing in the golden light. "You always say the right thing." "Nah," he replied, nudging her shoulder. "You just hear it better when the waves are louder than the critics." They both laughed. Coco leaned her head against his shoulder. For a long time, they just sat like that, two silhouettes against the slowly darkening sky. The smell of grilled corn and coconut oil drifted over from a family picnic nearby. A boy launched a paper lantern into the sky, and it floated over the water like a tiny orange moon. The first firework startled even the seagulls. A high-pitched whistle, then a bang that lit up the sky in fuchsia and gold. The beach collectively gasped. Children cheered, and phones rose like a sea of glowing fireflies. Coco and Jalen looked up together. Her eyes reflected the sparks. "You remember the first time we watched fireworks together?" she asked, grinning. "Your cousin's wedding," he said instantly. "You were wearing that orange dress that made you look like a human mango." She shoved him playfully. "You said I looked stunning." "You did. A very stunning mango." More fireworks filled the sky, peonies, willows, and chrysanthemums of light exploding one after the other. In that moment, Coco felt it. Not victory, not vindication, but peace. And maybe that was better. Looking ahead, later that night, when the fireworks had died down and the stars took over, Jalen lay beside her on the blanket, tracing the Big Dipper in the sky with his finger. "What's next?" he asked, not pressuring, just wondering. "Back to training. Back to the tour," she said, but her voice carried hope, not obligation. "I've still got the U.S. Open, and Paris isn't that far off." He turned to look at her. "You'll be ready." "I will," she said confidently. But before that, she planned to wake up to the sound of gulls, eat too much watermelon, swim until her legs ached, and let the ocean remind her that everything comes in waves, even greatness. Especially greatness.